Senate Bill 1606A. Representative Pruzak.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's so nice to be on the floor right now as we close out this special session. Colleagues, I'm honored to carry this important bill today, and I too want to thank Senator Gelser for her fierce advocacy. Like her, I have a deep passion to serve and protect our most vulnerable. In my day-to-day work, I have conversations with patients and their families, and at times their caseworkers, about end-of-life care. I provide primary care, palliative care, and hospice care for a range of patients in their homes, adult support homes, and long-term care facilities. I care for those that are disabled from traumatic brain injuries and choose to live on vents and tube feed. I care for those who have severe autism and need a caseworker. And I care for seniors at the end of their life who make decisions to not have life-saving measures initiated. I've been trained on how to complete POLST, portable orders for life-sustaining treatment, and over my 20 years, I've probably completed thousands. COVID-19 has been hard for my patients and their families and for healthcare providers like me who serve them. Over the last 3 months, when my patients are in the hospital or if they reside in long-term care facilities, families were often not able to visit due to restrictive policies. As a public health advocate, I understand why we are limiting visitors during a global pandemic, but when someone cannot speak for themselves due to disability or cognitive impairment or dying, we must ensure a support person can be by their bedside, especially when life or death decisions are being made. Over the past week, Senator Gelser graciously took my questions over email and phone any time of the day and night. We had several conversations about this bill. As a newer legislator, I've learned from her during this process. And I'm thankful to report the bill as written with the -8s will now offer dignity to those in the intellectual and developmentally delayed community, their caregivers and families. And it will do this while still ensuring that a patient's wishes are honored. SB 1606 does some important things. It prohibits hospitals from withholding or conditioning treatment on a patient approving a POLST form, advance directive, or other instructions regarding withholding or withdrawing life-sustaining procedures. Importantly, it does not prohibit or prevent a hospital or licensed healthcare professional from engaging in critical and compassionate discussion with a patient about POLST or advance directives. It requires hospitals to inform IDD patients of their right to have a support person with them at all times, and requires hospitals to post specified policies. It requires hospitals to allow a patient who is a member of the IDD community to designate 3 support persons and to allow one of those support persons to be present at all times during the patient's hospital stay. It requires a hospital to ensure a designated support person is present for any discussion of hospice care, advance directives, or other withholding or withdrawing life-sustaining procedures or artificially administered nutrition or hydration, unless the patient requests such discussion outside of the presence of a support person. It authorizes the Oregon Health Authority to impose civil penalties of up to $10,000 for violations of prohibitions and requirements. Colleagues, I urge an aye vote on SB 1606. This bill gives people with disabilities at an incredibly stressful time the security of having their advocates at their bedside and helps healthcare providers feel confident that they are respecting their wishes and offering the compassionate care they deserve without negatively impacting those who desire to have a conversation about or have chosen compassionate end-of-life care. And once we pass this bill, I will continue my conversations with stakeholders and community members about how isolation during a pandemic is impacting our vulnerable community members and how we can be creative with solutions that address this isolation. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Further discussion?